I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel tease might point to it repeating a huge Scream reboot mistake. With the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel currently filming, the cast has shared a couple of set photos without spoiling anything. However, the latest on-set tease might point to it repeating a huge mistake from the Scream reboot movies. The trend of reboots and legacy sequels in the horror genre keeps growing, and the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise is coming back to life thanks to it. Following the failed TV series adaptation in 2021, I Know What You Did Last Summer is returning with a movie set for a theatrical release in 2025. Directed by Jennifer Caton Robinson, the still untitled I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel is bringing back original characters Julie James, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Ray Bronson, Freddie Prinze Jr., along with a new generation of characters. Although plot details for the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel are currently unknown, it's expected to follow the same premise as its predecessors. Now, a new look from the set of the sequel is a callback to the first movie, but it might also hint at it repeating the biggest mistake of the fifth Scream movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer set photo hints at Julie and Ray's divorce. Filming of the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie began in November 2024 in Australia and continues in February 2025 in Los Angeles. A few looks at set life of I Know What You Did Last Summer have been revealed, the latest one being a very specific callback to the first movie. Robinson shared on her Instagram account a photo of Jennifer Love Hewitt holding some letters, with the one on top showing her name and address. In the first movie, Julie gets a letter with similar handwriting when she starts being stalked by Ben Willis, Muse Watson. However, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer established that Julie might have a slightly different name now. At the end of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Julie and Ray are either engaged or married, with Julie staring at her ring. But the set image from the upcoming sequel shows the letter addressed to Julie by her birth name. Though it's absolutely possible that Julie never changed her last name after marrying Ray, this feeds the rumors of Julie and Ray's relationship not being the best in the Legacy sequel. Scream 2022 revealed Gail and Dewey's divorce and killed Dewey. If Julie and Ray divorced at some point between I Still Know What You Did Last Summer and the Legacy sequel, the latter would be repeating Scream 2022. The fifth Scream movie brought Sydney, Neve Campbell, Gail, Courtney Cox, and Dewey, David Arquette, back and introduced a new generation of characters, led by sisters Sam, Melissa Barrera, and Tara Carpenter, Jenna Ortega. Scream 4 revealed that Gail and Dewey married after their engagement in Scream 3, but by the time of the events of the fifth movie, it was over. To make it worse, Dewey was the big loss in Scream 2022, when one of the Ghostface killers stabbed him to death at the hospital. Scream 2022 revealed Dewey and Gail are divorced, with Gail staying in New York City and Dewey returning to Woodsboro. Unfortunately, this was the beginning of Dewey's downfall, as he had to retire from the Woodsboro Police Department, move to a trailer park, isolated himself, and developed a dependency on alcohol. To make it worse, Dewey was the big loss in Scream 2022, when one of the Ghostface killers stabbed him to death at the hospital. It's no longer surprising when a legacy horror sequel kills a big legacy character. Scream 2022 did it, so did 2022's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it has been theorized that the same could happen in I Know What You Did Last Summer. The biggest candidate for that is Ray, as it's unlikely the sequel would opt for killing its final girl. If Julie and Ray are divorced, I Know What You Did Last Summer could be further following Scream's steps and kill Ray, just like what happened to Dewey, perhaps in an effort to save Julie and their daughter. What I Know What You Did Last Summer's latest tease could mean for the sequel. As mentioned above, it's possible that Julie never changed her last name after marrying Ray, thus she would still be addressed by her birth name. However, Julie getting a letter just like she did in the first movie when Ben Willis started stalking her and her friends might point to "I know what you did last summer" having a copycat killer. Ben Willis and his only son died, and I still know what you did last summer. So whoever the killer is in the new movie will be a new character. In the style of Scream 2022 and Halloween Ends, "I know what you did last summer's" villain could be inspired by what Ben Willis did years ago and repeating some of the things he did, such as targeting Jolie. There's a lot about the new "I know what you did last summer" movie that hasn't been revealed yet, but hopefully more details will